Just to review one more time. All right, we have a machlokas in the Mishnah between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel about when it comes to shehiyah. All right, what are you allowed to heat up before Shabbos? Is it chamin, meaning what are chamin? Hot water, or is it chamin and tavshil, which is Beis Hillel? Well, the question is, which oven are we referring to? Are we referring to a situation where the oven is already covered with ash, and therefore Beis Shammai adds another restriction to that? Or are we talking about the Hanania version of shehiyah, where there's no requirement for any type of covering up of the embers, rather, and then Beis Shammai adds in this one restriction that you still can't put topshel on there. Okay? So, what's Svara? What do you want to take up? Which side do you want to take up first? Which version?
Obviously the first one.
What is the difference between chamin and topshel? It's a very simple question. Okay, go. What makes chamin different than topshel is very simple. Okay, what you can't do to chamin, you can do to topshel, which is improve it. Now, how do I know that's true? By the way, what's going to come up with? I know, Mati. How do I know it's true? How do I know that you were saying this before? How do I know that improvement?
The best steak there is.
What?
Rare steak is the best steak there is.
How do I know that improvement does not exist only in topshel, not by chamin? You were saying the terms before. What applies to topshel that can never apply to chamin? Mistamak v'yafalo. There's no reality of mistamak v'yafalo means that even though the food is in the state of it's cooked, but there's an idea of improving it past that point. So it's a simple distinction. Chamin, there's no reality of improvement that exists by water. Once it's at hot, you can't make it better, right? It's hot. It's ready to go, right? Whereas by steak, you can put it on rare.
Char and they like that more.
Charred water?
No, I'm saying for the meat. Some people think charred meat is better than rare.
No, one second. That's called mistamak v'rolo. We'll get to that. I'm just saying, normally speaking, let's say the steak is rare, right? So it's not crazy to say that with a rare steak, that even though it's considered cooked, right, edible, it's still subject to improvement. If that's the differentiation, now how do you learn the machlokasim? According to this version, according to Hananiah's version, okay? Like, guys, give me a second. What? No. So it's like this. In other words, it's taking the idea that we proposed by Hananiah and going further with it. What do we say by Hananiah? We say by Hananiah that once it's halakhically cooked, once it's defined as in halakhic terms as bishul, right? That's it. Now, that reality is an objective reality. When halakha comes along and says, objectively speaking, this is defined as cooked. So Beis Hillel would say, the only realm we're concerned about is the objective. Hold on, let me just finish, and then you can tell me how it's silly. So now, what does the other side say? What does Beis Shammai say? Beis Shammai says that he's not denying the fact there's objective reality, but he's saying, but what does improvement mean? Improvement means that in my frame, in the subjective realm, the food could still be improved, so he considers that to be mitzaref to the idea of bishul. Bishul is not limited to simply the objective halachic machal medrusai, but since it could still be improved, that's considered mitzaref to that idea. Okay, just to clarify the objective-subjective thing. What I mean is like this. In other words, halacha says, objectively speaking, this thing is defined as being cooked. So Beis Hillel would say, there's nothing more to talk about. Beis Shammai is saying, no. Beis Shammai is saying, there is, right, objectively speaking, foods are subject to improvement. Now, the idea of an improvement is something that exists in the realm of the Gavra. It is coming from the food. That's how he relates to it. But the point is, it's in my framework now, in the human framework.
Is a second in bishul.
According to Beis Shammai.
According to Beis Shammai, just because it becomes edible, it's not fully.
Rabbanan say what? If you use the Chacham's version, right? So they're going to look Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel, saying that Beis Hillel again all along lines up with Rabbanan. So Beis Shammai holds what? He says no, chamin versus topshel, but it has to be katam. So what's Beis Shammai doing? What does Beis Shammai hold? What's his idea?
In the run?
Thing is that no, because that's what we're worried about. What does the Maisa Garf? Be quiet. What does the Maisa Garf accomplish? Right, and therefore that's in how he relates to this whole called the cooking process. Now the question is like this. The question is according to Beis Hillel,
never in any other fashion. No.
What?
Hezbollah must always. You can point to the bottom of the corner of the room, but it's going to have to be somehow about how I relate to it. Because then you didn't any fear. But there's no chiluk there.
No, because in the other way of learning, we don't care about how the guy relates to it. It's purely in the food itself.
That's what I'm saying.
In the first way we learn, we're not taking into account. There's no idea of a ma'isa kata, meaning there's no idea of I have to do an action to produce a hesach hadas to change the way I relate to the cooking process. You understand? In this way of learning, the ma'isa is the key. When he does katima, it changes how he relates to it. And Beis Shammai is saying that also is chal on the chafsa too, on the food also. We don't just take into account the ma'isa, we take into account the food. Both are taken into account. But the other way, we don't care about. It's not how we relate to the cooking process because there's no katam. It only emerges through katima. What do we care about? Is he involved?
I'm you make sense.
Okay.